Good evening and welcome to From the AD's View. I'm your host, Dr. Cedric Brown, and today's guest is Mr. Tyler Slick. Hey, Tyler, how are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Hey, Tyler, when we talk about GAs in athletics, what are your thoughts?
It's a game changer for yourself personally, for the staff that's at a specific university. It's a game changer for them, and it's a great way to be in college basketball to learn and to take steps moving forward.
Equity in athletics, Tyler. What do you think about that?
It's a ever growing thing that needs to continue to happen in college basketball, college athletics. We've made some steps in the right improvements in the right direction, but always more areas to be covered and things to be better in.
And working in Division One and Division Two, what is that experience like?
So many stories, so many life lessons, experiences, all good things you learn as you go, and just fortunate for the opportunity to be at different locations throughout my career.
These stories and more on From the AD's View. Let's get it. Welcome back to the show. Before we start talking about the topics that we have today, I'd like to give honor to God, who's the head of my life, and thank Him for all the things that He's done in my life. Because without Him, there is no From the AD's View. There is, no professional career that I have. There's no platform such as this. So I want to do that. Now, let's welcome back today's guest, Mr. Tyler Slick, who is a former assistant a former assistant men's basketball coach at Bethany Lutheran, a former assistant men's basketball coach at Minnesota State Mankato with Matt Margenthaler, a brother from a different mother, a former assistant at North Dakota State University, former director of basketball operations at Ganon Basketball, a former GA for Mr. Anfernee Penny Hardaway at the University of Memphis, and currently the men's basketball assistant coach at Lincoln Memorial in Tennessee. Welcome to the show, Tyler.
Appreciate you, Cedric, man. Excited to be on and talk hoops, talk life, and just continue to grow, man. So I'm excited to be on and appreciate you and everyone for this opportunity.
Absolutely. And Tyler, you are a young, quote unquote young coach, but you're an experienced coach. You've been around for a
Yeah.
long period of time. Give the audience a little bit about who Tyler Slick is, and about a minute and a half. Give us an elevator speech.
Yeah, from Minneapolis, Minnesota originally. Grew up with two sisters, one twin, one older sister. Mom and dad, very fortunate for them and the blessings and the challenges and stuff that they've instilled in me throughout growing up, and just a Midwest kid, grounded in hard work and looking at things differently, and trying not to only find the solution but to build real relationships along the way. And I've just been fortunate to go to a lot of different places, learn from a lot of different people, and I don't take that for granted. Whether it's basketball or business, or it doesn't matter the platform you're in my opinion. But as long as I can learn and grow, and I think that's a valuable asset for anyone, is you can grow and learn. And so I've been able to do that a lot of different places. But I'm a Midwest guy, and from the snow is what I like to say when it gets below freezing back in Minnesota. So.
Absolutely, and a New York City kid, so I know a little bit about snow.
Yeah.
And now I'm out west in Utah,
Yeah.
halfway between Salt Lake City and Las Vegas, and
Nice.
the snow is real out here, man. It,
Yeah.
it it gets really real out here,
Yeah. I bet.
up
I
in the
bet.
mountains and and all those things. But you said you were a twin.
Yeah.
You said you're a twin. Who's older, you or her?
I'm older by 6.5 minutes.
Who's the boss though?
She is 100%. I definitely take a backseat to both of them, but I'm so fortunate for them, and the support that they give me. And but no, it was definitely a learning. I learned a lot growing up. With two sisters, and
Absolutely.
So it was awesome.
Absolutely. And Tyler, you and I, it's funny how things happen, right? I don't believe in coincidences. I
Yeah.
believe that everything happens for a reason, right? The reason why I'm on this show is because I made a comment on LinkedIn, which I think is God's social page,
Yep.
right? It's social media page. And Leon Thomas saw what I said. I just said I want to give honor to God and be thankful for the opportunity I had on a job that I was just hired for.
Yeah.
And that's how this all started. So I say that to this that the world is really small, right? I was a GA at South Dakota State University under Scott Nagy, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Who was the head coach that worked with Matt Margenthaler,
No
and
doubt.
Matt is a trip, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you worked for Matt Margenthaler,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Coach Engine that is at North Dakota State
Yeah.
the university, right?
Yep.
I worked in that conference, right?
Gotcha.
I was with South Dakota State and
Yeah.
South Dakota, North Dakota State, North Dakota, those
Yeah.
things. So our paths have might have been parallel, and then just now, because of I believe of God's perfect will, they come together, right? George
Yeah.
Hemmingson,
Yep. No
our
doubt.
boy,
Yeah.
right, put us
Oh,
together,
yeah.
and that's how it happened. What does the GA mean to the success of a basketball program?
From the success of a basketball program, it means everything because the GAs are doing everything you could imagine under the sun, in terms of helping rebound, being available for workouts, practice, taking guys to class, doing stuff on the road with road trips, itineraries, meal plans, bus schedule. I mean, they are extremely, extremely important to a college basketball program. So when I was a GA and now that I'm an assistant and now that we have GAs here at LMU, I'm very fortunate for what they do. And, it's something that you can't take for granted because if you didn't have those people in those positions, it would make your job that much harder. So GAs all around the country, no matter the level, the love and the appreciation is always there for myself, and I know a lot of other coaches, and they're just a game changer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing about it is I was a GA, right, at South Dakota State, like I said.
Yeah.
There's GAs for every sport, right? Or most sports. Let me say that. Most sports have GAs. And what would you tell someone that was an undergrad, Tyler? How would you tell them to go about the approach of seeking a graduate assistant spot? Can you tell a little bit about your journey to get there with Coach Hardaway?
Yeah. So I think first and foremost to attain a GA spot, to a certain degree, some connections, some good luck, some good prayer is always in order. But I also think you have to be willing to provide value for maybe no cost and not have that expectation of getting paid or receiving some sort of benefit from whatever you may be doing. So when I got my GA job at Memphis, I was a current assistant coach at North Dakota State, like you mentioned. I coached at Bethany Lutheran beforehand, was a high school coach before that. And for myself, I wanted to take the next jump in my career, knowing that, if I wanted to level up a little bit and get things on the top shelf in life, I had to sacrifice. I had to give up to go up, So I left a full-time job there in North Dakota to go to an unpaid GA job down in Memphis, Tennessee, which I'm extremely fortunate for. I wouldn't be here at LMU. I wouldn't have the outlook I have, the perspective I have if I didn't have that opportunity. But I got there because of Cody Topper and Penny as well. But I knew Cody from Ganon Baker, who I used to work for, as you mentioned at the start. And when I was 20, I was able to get connected to Ganon Baker through a connection named Scott Savor, who works in the Minneapolis area in Minnesota. And when I met Cody at 20, I just stayed in his ear, whatever I could do to help, volunteer. As I continued to grow with Ganon, my relationship got stronger there. And then, when the position came open at Memphis, Ganon reached out to Cody, and then Cody connected, and then Cody reached out to me. And it all kind of came together, in terms of a perfect fit, just kind of the perfect situation.
Absolutely.
I don't think it's all like we said at the start, I think it's all God's timing. You know, God puts you in the positions to see some challenges, but to also, you know, reap from those challenges and the benefits. And you know, so I wouldn't been able to be in that position if it wasn't for Cody Topper, Ganon Baker, and then obviously Coach Hardaway for signing off on it and being able to, you know, learn from him for the year. And it was an unbelievable experience. I mean, what he does there in Memphis and the staff and the student athletes and the community, I mean, it's truly remarkable, and just fortunate for that opportunity.
Hey, Tigers basketball. Penny's doing a great job over there, man. You know, hovering in the top 25 for most of the season and things like that. You know, some injuries occurred and stuff like that, but you know, watching Penny at the pro level, right? We were just talking about this before the show, right? Had it not been that he was in that era with the Pacers, and he was in that era with the Knicks, and, you know, and those teams in the Chicago Bulls, had he not been in that era, arguably Penny and Shaq probably would have won multiple championships.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
He was an unbelievable player before.
Unbelievable player. I mean, did it all, you know, 6'8", 6'9", put it on the floor, you know, can get anywhere on the floor that he need to, make sure that he touched the paint and kicked that thing out for shooters. I think he had Dennis on that squad with him, the sharp shooter. So had he not been in that era, we might be talking about Penny Hardaway as being a multi-NBA champion. Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think with who he was surrounded with, if you take away the injuries, I mean, he was as good as anyone to ever play the game. And I think it can show from his time when he was a player at the University of Memphis to his time in Orlando. And you see other NBA guys, whether it's Shaq or other guys in the NBA, that speak so highly of him and his career and what he was able to accomplish in his time. And he would have easily been a multi, you know, NBA world champion for sure if things would have went a little differently.
And what he's bringing back to Memphis, right? And back to that city of Memphis. And I did a show a few weeks back right before the Super Bowl, and I was talking about Detroit and what the Detroit Lions have brought to the city of Detroit, right? Because there's been a little, you know, despair there. You know, there's been, you know, some things in society there. Same thing with Memphis, right? There's been some things, you know, around Memphis and things like that. And there's things like that around all cities, right? But what he has done in the city of Memphis, you know, post Derrick Rose, he has really re-energized that city, you know, and kudos to him, right? And so you working with and under Penny Hardaway, it just means, Tyler, that you are going to propel yourself and you're going to be an outstanding coach in this business someday. But Tyler, do me a favor, stay with me, right? Because we got to pay the bills, right? So I'm going to go to a break and then we'll come back and we'll pick up some other topics. Yes, you are watching From the AD's View. I'm your host, Dr. Cedric Brown. We will be right back after this break.
Renting is everything. It's style at your doorstep, off the runway and into your closet. It's every trend you've been dying to try and every designer you've yet to discover. It's wearing it your way every time and making it count everywhere you go. It's never worrying about what to wear, because something new is always coming your way. That's why renting is everything. New styles, top designers, all for a flat monthly fee. Start your subscription at renttherunway.com.
Slow roasted over hickory fire and pulled by hand. This is the way pit pork has always been done. Pulled pork lovers, rejoice. The smoky old days are back at the Smoke Shack. From the creative team that brought you The Browning Project and Dead by Morning comes a new thriller that will change the way you look at white-collar crime forever. Falling from the Sky.
Water. It's everywhere. We drink it, we bathe with it, we cook with it. Coffee's made with water. Toilets won't flush without it. It's used for washing clothes, dishes, utensils, pots, pans, floors, and our teeth. Plants and crops need water, animals drink it, and fish need it too. And don't forget, we can have a lot of fun in the water. Water. What will we do without it?
Welcome back to the show. Before we bring back our guest, I want to talk a little bit about my book, How Black Men Overcome Racial Barriers in the Status Quo in NCAA Institutions. It's a narrative inquiry. I wrote this book for the sole purpose of getting individuals to understand what it would be like for persons like myself, men like myself, persons of color, to go through the process of attaining a seat, the chair, as we call it, the chair in Power 5 institutions. And there were three themes that came out of the research: benefits of a role model, the expectations of the role model, and then the perceived barriers that individuals may have to go through. But it was from a very positive perspective, right? What were the influences that helped you be successful? You can get the book at Amazon.com, right? And it's an easy read. If you want to know more about the journeys that young men go through, pick it up. And if you have any questions, you can reach me at cedricandbrown.org. You can watch past episodes of From the 80s View there. If you'd like to learn more about professional services that I provide, reach me at cmbrown.org. Or if you want to be a guest on the show, like today's guest, reach me at cedricandbrown.org and email me, and I'll be happy to talk to you about that. From the 80s View can be seen on Sundays at 6:40 Central, 7:40 Eastern. You can watch more shows. And I would like to introduce a very special guest of mine, the Leon Thomas of the Leon Thomas Group. Leon, you have a couple of different announcements that you want to make today.
Yes, Dr. Brown, thank you. Enjoying your show. Thanks for allowing me to come in here real quick. And so, the first announcement that I want everyone to know about is the launch of the Leon Thomas Group News Network. We expect to roll that out by the end of March, right in time for the Final Four and the NCAA playoffs, NCAA basketball tournament. But we're starting the Leon Thomas News Network. We're going to have a lot of shows on our network that talk about local news, national news, sports, and society. And Dr. Cedric Brown will be a part of the Leon Thomas Group News Network. This show, as well as another show that's in development with Dr. Brown and some other co hosts of the show, will be a part of the Leon Thomas Group Network. So you'll be able to see Dr. Brown through his platforms as you are now on LinkedIn and YouTube, but you'll also get to see his show along with others as part of the Leon Thomas Group Network. And Dr. Brown, we're very blessed and fortunate to have you to be a part of that.
And I'm equally blessed and fortunate to be a part of it, Leon, because like I said before in my opening monologue, without him, there is no Cedric and Leon, right? It wouldn't come together if his social media network, LinkedIn, wasn't available, because there was no analytical way that you and I should know each other at all, but God. So I appreciate you so much, and thank you for involving me in something that is as important and seminal as the Leon Thomas News Network. It's going to do amazing things for amazing people, for a lot of people. It's inclusive. It brings people together, and I'm glad to be a part of it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you again. Thank you for having me here. And if anyone's watching and you would like to be a part of the Leon Thomas News Network, meaning you'd like to maybe be a guest on a show, or you want to work behind the scenes, or maybe even host a show or co host one, please be sure to contact me. You can reach me at that email address, leon at theleonthomasgroup.com. Thanks, Dr. Brown.
I appreciate you. Hey, now let's bring back Mr. Tyler Slick. And before we bring Tyler back, Tyler, Dr. Brown is a little bit of a entrepreneurial
Yeah.
gentleman. So I've started a brand called Favored.
Yeah.
F, the number 8, VRD, Favored. And I got that. Let's bring Tyler back. And Tyler, I started this because I looked at I Googled in the Bible. I Googled about the Bible, about significant numbers
hmm
in the Bible, right? And
Yeah.
when people talk about those, they think 7 is the ultimate number, right? But it came up 8, right? And 8 means new beginnings. It means hope. Back in the day when before a young boy became into manhood, circumcision started on the 8th day after birth, right? And so when I looked at that and a play on the words, a play on words, favored, right? I put the 8 in there where the A is at, and I got rid of the O and the E, and and came up with this. And so it's a faith-based company
Yeah.
that I've started. The company that we started here in Utah is Divine Creations Group LLC, and our brand is Favorite. So it's coming to everybody at the end of this month, early part of next month. The Favorite website will be launched. So I'll get your size,
Yeah.
Tyler, and I'll get you some Favorite gear sent out to you, man.
Definitely, man. No, I appreciate. I definitely need to cop some of that gear, man. That looks good. I'm excited to for the launch for that, and no, I'm excited for you, man. That's awesome.
Absolutely. So Tyler, quickly, let's talk about equity and equality, man. A couple of years ago in the NCAA tournament on the women's side, they missed it. They missed it, right? And so doing a better job. Mr. Charlie Baker, now the president of the NCAA, is all in on making things more equitable. What are your thoughts about that? You are somebody that's plugged into some things, Tyler. I've seen some of the work that you've been doing, and equity and equality means a lot to you. So what say you about that?
Yeah, it's great to have these conversations, right? That's first and foremost, because these conversations need to be had. But we still have a lot of work to do. Whether it's like you said with the women's NCAA tournament compared to the men's NCAA tournament. If you want to talk about coaching staff practices and coaching staff hires, student athletes. You can even go from to the professional level, with the NBA or the WNBA. And I think there's a lot of ground in a lot of areas that need to be continually talked about to be improved. So it's good to have these conversations, but we also need to start creating action at the same time. And like you said, there's been some improvements and some good things in the works, but the conversation can't die. So I think
absolutely.
I think at times, like when situations like that occur, like the NCAA tournament for the women's did a couple years ago, I think the initial voice is very loud and very powerful, which is perfect, but the voice begins to fade. And I think you need to be able to have that consistent voice where you're not necessarily shoving it down someone's throat, but you're able to get them aware, because that's the biggest thing. The awareness is a huge key. If you're not aware of the situation, then it's not going to be able to be fixed. So I think continue to talk about it, have conversations is huge, because in my experience from places I've been, it's sometimes it's been good in terms of resources allowed for men's and women's sports, and sometimes it's just not fair, So having these conversations is important, and it's something that needs to continue to happen.
Sure. And before I go to the next topic, really quickly, if it wasn't for equity, we wouldn't know who Caitlin Clark was.
100%.
Baller.
Got the hat on right here. Go Hawks, baby.
Baller.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark is getting it done, right? And I made the argument on my last show, and I'm going to stick to this. In certain situations, she could absolutely play in the NBA.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. right point guard, right, getting her touches where she needs them because she has a quick release.
Yep.
She's shooting, her comfort zone is 25, 28, 30
Yep.
feet, right? Absolutely in the right situation, that young lady could play in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about because then she probably whether she's the focal point or not, there's more space obviously in the league at the men's and women's level. So you play in more space, it's harder to guard, and she would be she would make some money in the NBA just like she will in the WNBA too.
She's gonna kill it.
Yeah.
She's going to kill it. Tyler, you've worked in multiple divisions, right? Division 1, Division 2. What are some of the similarities and what are some of the differences?
Yeah, so I think a lot of the similarities between Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, places I've been is the day-to-day is somewhat the same. The administration works somewhat the same. The 2 hour or 2.5 hour practice that you get somewhat the same. The weights are somewhat the same. Now, to a certain degree, you have to package things differently, right? So I think at different schools that I've been, things are packaged at a higher level, and maybe because you have more resources or more staff members to do that. But the way you package things, the way you find solutions, and I think is so valuable. And I think you see the best of the best in whether it's college basketball, college football, sports, business. I think the high level performers understand that the solutions you need to find, you have to be creative, and you have to be different about the way you think of things. Because if you look back, I think history tells us a lot. So if you repeat things that are done in the past, it's going to happen again in the future. So for myself, it's I try to look at different situations, different solutions, and try to come up with a different answer that maybe has already been thought of. So I think being at Memphis, being at Minnesota State Mankato with Coach Margenthaler, or here at LMU, it's just being able to think a little differently, think outside the box, bring value at the same time, right? Because you don't want to be a dead corpse, respectfully.
Absolutely.
So you got to bring value and think a little differently. And through all my stops, I've been able to do that, I think. And for me, like we've talked at the start of the show, it's just continuing to learn, continue to bring that value, continue to praise the man above, and be with good people, and then good things will happen. I think the man above takes care of a lot of things, and you got to just keep marching down the straight path, and you'll be fine.
Absolutely. Before we close the show, we're family because Morgenthaler's in our life.
Yeah.
What is the most comical story that you can tell our viewers about your time at Mankato with Matt Margenthaler?
Oh man, so many stories.
Like at the shoot around. Does he still do the half court shots at the end of shoot around and everything?
Yeah, he still does the half court shots at the end of shoot around. I mean, so many good stories. Such a good guy.
Very
great coach,
good.
But even better person. Great father.
Absolutely.
Great husband. And then the rest of his staff too. Coach Schott,
Coach Schott, Mike,
Coach
Big Mike.
Big Mike. A lot of really good people up there in Mankato. But I would say the funniest story, and I don't know if it was necessarily funny at the time.
Yeah.
We were in practice, and it wasn't going great. Maybe we missed some shots, and we struggled with some execution stuff on the offense and defensive end. And one time, Margenthaler just took a ball, went the other way, and just punted it to the other side of the floor.
Oh, totally. Absolutely known for putting it in the stands. Absolutely.
Yeah, and he looked like an NFL punter out there with the way he punted that thing. Looked like he'd done it a million times. But
absolutely.
He's such a good guy, and they're killing it this year.
They are.
This year. They just won the NSIC regular season championship for the conference, and they got some big things coming here, at the end of March and in the tournament. So I'm excited to follow them and watch them, and super excited for them.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna make sure that I get in contact with M Squared, man. That's my buddy. That's my guy. That's my guy. Hey, I ask every guest this final question. What does faith or spiritualness mean to you, Tyler?
Yeah, it's first and foremost, it's an always learning progression in life. I don't think you ever reach fulfillment with your spirituality or your faith. I think you always continue to reach that and continue to learn and develop. And walking the way in the life that the man above would want us to.
Sure.
For myself personally, I've it's grown on me, ever since growing up in Minneapolis and going to church, whether it's with my friends or whatever it may have been. But for me, I travel a lot, whether it's job related or just on the road recruiting, whatever it may be. But the biggest thing I can always take with me is my faith. No matter where I go, no matter what job I have, obviously I have my family there with me, but something that I can hold dear to my heart is my faith.
Absolutely.
and know that the challenge or the adversity or the thing that I'm facing is put in my life for a reason. All right. So now I have to figure out a reason to, why is this in my life? Not complain about it, enjoy it, embrace it, and then figure out how to be better because of it. And I think faith and my spirituality is an ever growing thing. And it's something that, I don't think you ever reach fulfillment, like I said. And I'm just fortunate to have God in my life and give praise to him no matter where I've been, no matter what I do. And it's not always about the good. It's sometimes about the bad, So I think looking at it both sides, and I'm just fortunate to be able to lean on him, every single day and kind of grow in my faith.
Absolutely. And I appreciate that, Tyler. Thank you. Because if you remember stories in the Bible, you have Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and they were in the fiery furnace. But when they went into the fiery furnace, there was a fourth, right?
Yeah.
There was somebody there with them, Daniel in the lion's den. The Lord closed the lion's mouth and didn't allow the lion to attack Daniel. But what he did do is the ones that lied on Daniel, he allowed their entire family to be destroyed. Right. He ate the man, the woman, the children, everybody. So you're right. It's not just about the good. We don't praise only when it's the good. We praise during challenges as well. So I appreciate that perspective, Tyler. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
And as I get ready to close, Tyler, I just want to let everybody know that in knowing you briefly and knowing you through George Hemmingson, that you are an outstanding 40 under 40 or 35 under 35, getting ready to come up in this business, man. And everything that I've heard about you has been outstanding, and that you care about the young student athletes that you're around, and that you pour into them, and that you're a giver and not a taker, right? Because life is just two people, givers and takers, right?
100%.
And so Tyler Slick is definitely a giver of the young people that he's around. So Tyler, I appreciate you. I applaud you for that, man, and I thank you.
Thank you, Cedric. I appreciate you and the kind words. And like you said, George Hemmingson's he's family, which makes us family. And I'm super excited for yourself and obviously the podcast. I think you guys are doing great things and being able to spread the word and talk about real life problems and real life solutions, and also tie it back in with faith and spiritualness. So I'm excited for you and can't be more thankful for being on the show. And thank you. And just excited to continue to grow the relationship and hopefully we can cross paths more often, not be on a linear line. But no, man, I appreciate it.
I'll see you in Phoenix.
That's right.
Hey, so Tyler, before you go, if someone wants to get a hold of Coach Slick, how can they do that?
Yeah, my email is coachtslick@gmail.com. You can also reach me at my cell phone number, which is 952-288-5795. 952-288-5795. I'm very big on giving my cell phone number out because it's more personable. I think being able to make connections and build relationships comes through being intentional about what you do. So if you guys ever need to reach me, you can call me, text me day or night. And I would love to talk life, talk faith, talk basketball, and just appreciate everything.
Absolutely. So Tyler, thank you so much for being on the show, brother.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Thank you. So I want to thank Mr. Tyler Slick for being on the show with us today. As always, as I say, there's so many important things in your career, in your life, that help to raise you up. And friendships are one of those things. But what I'd like to speak to really quickly before we go is the GA, right? You heard Coach Slick talk about the graduate assistant position. For those viewers that are watching, if you are in that position, or parents, if you're watching, for your son or your daughter to come up through that, look into that. A graduate assistant is the first job that a student athlete will have, where they have some responsibilities and they have some accountability, and they're learning the entire gambit of athletics, right? Of the team, because like he said, they're doing travel, they're doing hotel stays, they're doing practice plans, they're doing all those things that help the program itself be very successful. So look into that. If you have any questions, you can reach me at cedricandbrown.org, or you can also reach me at from the AD's view at gmail.com. You can reach me there and I can answer any questions that you have. But I appreciate everybody for the support. Thank you. Leon Thomas and the Leon Thomas Group. Favored will be coming out, and you will be able to get your apparel at Favored. And I'd love to share this idea that God put on my heart with all of you out there. Good night and God bless.